trying to think who was they before they married. One of them married Dixon, and one married Grandpa Smith, and they was cousins. Grandpa Smith and Grandma Smith was first cousins. Their sister's children, and he stole her. She was very young. I don't know whether it was 15 maybe.
We looked in the library. It says 16.
16. I don't think she was that old. But now I don't know, because that was back before I knowed anything about these things, but it seemed to me like they said she was 16 years old. But
15,
now,
you mean?
well, it's possible she was 15 years old. She's sleeping upstairs. They had an old log house. I stayed all night in that house one time when Aunt Nancy Dixon lived in it. When I was just a kid, me and John come over here and spent the night. And there was a log out up there in the attic, and he stole her out of that hole.
Crack.
Yeah. And they rode a stud horse to Hazard and got married. And his first cousins. And Grandpa, I don't know whether he was much, if any, older than her or not, because Grandmother died before she was too old, and Grandpa Smith lived to be 85 years old before he died. And I don't know. I can't remember too much about Grandma Smith. She went blind before she died. But she wasn't as old as he was. I don't know how much older he was.
Where did they go when they ran away and got married? Where did they come back to?
Hazard.
I mean, where did they come back to when they got married?
Now, don't ask me that.
I wondered where they lived first. They didn't live on Jakes Creek then, did they?
Oh, no, no.
No.
No, they didn't live on Jakes Creek to begin with. John, Elle was the oldest one of Grandpa and Grandma's children, and John was next. No, Elle was the oldest, and Mom was next, and John next. And John was about 2 years old, or not 2 years old, maybe 18 months old, when they moved to the head of Jakes Creek now, there above Delia's. And they said that the first steps that he walked, because they put him down up there and he walked.
They probably lived over here near their parents then.
Yeah, they did live over here somewhere, and I don't know just where.
Yeah.
I have known Lettie all about it, but I can't
So one
remember.
was a Gillum and one was a
One is a Smith.
Smith and one a
one
Gillum.
is a Dixon.
Oh, a Dixon.
Their mothers were sisters.
I see. Dixon and Smith.
Yeah.
Did their mothers live near each other?
I really don't know about that. I did know about it, but I don't now. They all lived around here in this settlement.
Yeah.
And Grandpa lived up here at the mouth of Sawmill Holler, if you know where that is, right up above this bridge.
I know where it is.
And I don't know where Grandpa Dixon lived over here on Mount Cloverbeck.
So they own land over here too?
Oh, they owned just about all this property, and they just practically gave it away.
Isn't that so?
They just about own this whole thing.
We got some of the best pictures.
They went out and surveyed the land then, whatever they wanted, and took it. But they didn't, I guess they thought it'd always be that way. They'd go get more if they wanted, but I don't know why they didn't take more than they did. And Grandpa did, after he grew up and married, he bought from below the mouth of Jakes Creek, I believe it's down close to about Coil Branch. He bought all that up in there, and all that over on the head of Big Laurel and on Turkey Fork and in Harlan County. It all belonged to him. And that's what got great-grandpa Smith killed, so they said. They got in a lawsuit over
The land?
over the land, and he was going to court to see about it, and he was found dead in a puddle, and his horse was standing by. And everybody thought they killed him because he had him beat. He really had the title to it, you know, but they was trying to take it away from him. And then when he is gone, there's nobody to look after it, and he was the only child, only son. He had a sister. there's nobody to look after it, so they just
And
took it.
when Jake got to be the one to look after it, he just let him have it then, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
And Grandpa.
What did you do?
He took these pictures that Dale has, the old pictures, and he he put this on it, made a picture. She was 69 years old when she died.
Well, Grandpa was way up in his 84 or 5 years old when he died or something.
Your mom took care of him before he died.
Yeah. We moved in over there, and I was a youngster then. My sister was married then,
Uh-huh.
and I was about 14 years old, I guess.
Mhm.
One time I used to be awfully afraid of ghosts,
Mhm.
and a neighbor died, and they made a casket for him out in our yard. Frank Hall, not the Frank Hall, and I forgot who else was helping him with it. Why, yeah, it was Evan Boggs, that's who it was. And anyway, they they worked after dark, and I had to go out there and hold them alight.
Oh.
And I was afraid. And Mom and John was cooking supper, and they was late getting them in there to eat, you know. And when they got it done, I reckon they carried it off. I don't remember what one casket. Anyhow, Grandpa was there, and he was very old then, and his mind wasn't good. But some of us had to stay close by all the time.
Yeah.
So it was a hard thing for me to do, to decide what to do, whether to stay with Grandpa or to go with Mom to milk and leave Zion, or leave Mom one with Grandpa. I finally decided on to go to stay with Grandpa, and I was so afraid. It was way after dark.
You know, they caused us to be that way. There was always afraid when people die for some reason.
Yeah.
Isn't that awful? We're scared to death when somebody died.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yes, it is. It's fun crazy. And I guess it's his parents' fault. They didn't.
It was?
He died with a flu when the flu first come around. He was Jim Medcave's son by a former marriage.
What was his name? Willie?
Willie.
Oh, I didn't know he had a boy like that.
Well, he wasn't a boy, he's a man.
I mean, a man.
Yeah. I don't know. He's probably 40 years old.
Had he been married before?
Oh, yes. I think he married twice or 3 times before he married our Aunt Pa.
Ah.
And then they had 5 or 6 children. 4 or 5. Emmett, Henson, Arnold, Bill.
He was a smart man, wasn't he?
I don't know where he was in there.
Why, he was a midwife, and he had,
Yeah,
he could
midwife.
cure the thrush, you know.
Yeah.
Just how did he do that?
I don't know what he did or not.
He could stop blood. Sure, everybody that had that disease, those kids send him word even, and they get well. That's what my mom used to say.
Well, they claim that, and
Mhm.
I think these things get swell themselves.
Then there's a Bible verse you can repeat and stop blood. He'd do that.
Yeah, I know,
Uh-huh.
but now I don't know. I just don't know about these things. He was a midwife,
Mhm.
and everybody used him. He was good at that, I reckon.
He delivered to all of us, I think, but one.
I guess he did.
Yeah, he did. I guess he ever lost
Well,
any.
I'd already been born before he come along, or
Yeah.
he delivered me, I guess.
And then I don't reckon he lost any of them.
No, he was pretty good at the job.
Yeah. And they probably never did hardly pay
I
him.
liked him. He wasn't no count for nothing. He just wasn't hard to work dog.
I know it.
But I
Kept
liked
these old
him.
dogs in the house all the time.
Yeah, he was a good-natured old feller, and
Where was he from?
don't ask me that.
I
don't
just
know.
wonder where he
I don't
came
know where he originally was from. I just.
Well,
don't
how did
know.
he ever come to meet Pa?
Well, he probably was born here. I don't know. I
don't
forgot.
either.
Lettie, if I ever know.
Mom used to tell somebody, I tell you, she said that one time he was out scooting down the hill on a piece of board or something other, and she was expecting Jim to come see her, and she said that she got on that board. She said, "Now come on, let's scoot some." And she scooted down one way, and she knew there was a water down here, and she had Pa go straight down through there, and she went in there, and she was drowned with that mud. She had that all over her, and she got out and was doing like this, and here come Jim to see her. She used to tell us tales like that and laugh her head off. The things she done to Pa.
I know, they did all kinds
And
of
she
things
was
to
so
Pa.
good-natured.
Yeah, she
We
was.
loved her. She was more fun. I just
I
love to see her
love
come
Pa
out.
almost as well as I did Mom, because she half raised me.
I tell you, it tickled us to death for her to come to our house. we'd sit up half the night and talk.
Yeah, I know.
And she'd tell us all this stuff, you know, all the funny things that happened. And then Mom would tell about Granddad, how he wanted his biscuits baked and all that stuff, you know.
Yeah.
She'd tell us that stuff. And
Yeah, Paul was a wonderful person. I loved her.
I don't know. I don't know anybody I'd rather see than Paul. Right up to the end, she was so much fun. Even when she was real sick,
Yeah.
she would talk so jolly. She had a bad life, you know. She really did.
Well, she had a bad life.
Yeah, she sure did.
The worst, I
Don't guess she ever had anything hard to eat with him not working much.
Very little, very little. She went hungry.
Yeah. She had a bad time after she got old and had to stay with them too.
It's sad to think about what a hard time the poor thing had.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I guess we helped her all we could, but she wouldn't call on anybody.
She never told you what she needed, would she? No. I know.
All the old people's dead and there ain't nobody left but me.
Well,
I'm the
I
only
should
old
say.
one there.
No, there's a lot of them. A lot of them. Yeah.
You can't name nobody older than me.
85?
Older than Smith?
I just
On
like-
our side of the family, you mean?
Huh?
On our family, in our family?
Yeah.
I guess you are it. And then Dale.
Yeah, well,
See, there's only
the 19th day.
there's only 3 in our family left. And only 1 in yours.
Yeah, I was thinking about that today.
Hmm.
There's
And we
half
never
of
see
them
Wendell,
dead.
I mean, never see him.
Well, I ain't seen Wendell so long, wouldn't know him.
He looks exactly like his Uncle John. If you went in there and looked at him, you'd think Uncle John was back.
Why,
Honest to
Lettie,
God,
he
he
couldn't
is-
look like
he is the
John. He never looked like John.
She hasn't seen him lately. But you know.
What's the
I don't
matter? Is
guess-
he sick?
Yeah, he is.
What's
that?
You been up there? Lord, and back when I was not much more than a kid. I hated that about them old houses getting burned up. there.
Yeah.
I wanted to go back and see Grandpa's old house.
You was young when you got married, wasn't you?
Yeah, I was too young.
Yeah.
So did you live up there first
Yeah, right in the very head of the log house.
when you first got married?
Yeah.
We lived there for, I guess, 2 years or something.
Did you move down there when your mom was taking care of Grandpa? Did you move down where you lived when your mom was taking care of your grandpa?
That was before I married.
Oh, it was before you was
Yeah.
married. Oh.
He died.
Then you
before-
lived with him
Before I
then.
married.
Oh, yeah.
He hadn't been dead too long. I think he died in February and I married him the next May.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I remember going to your house and how pretty it was. I remember the orchard. I remember that orchard and the old gate where I can dream about it sometimes, where you go out to milk the cows there, and there was a hole in that rock where you could feed the cats. And you know, I remember that honeysuckle
The cats
vine,
went with us to milk.
that honeysuckle vine on the porch, into the porch there. I can smell that yet, and the soap that lay there smells so good, and it was a streaked soap. It was green and I don't know what color it was. And the old cat would go under the floor there. Virginia boy go in that hole, and I can see that. I can see all that stuff. It's something how I don't forget that. I don't know how old I was. I really don't. Must have been really little.
I don't know just how old it
But I can see that, and I could walk across the porch, and there where you wash your hands, there's a wash pan and the soap and the old black
I
cat.
wish them old houses hadn't been burned up.
Yep. It would have been something to keep.